The Lost Crown. I stop to gaze for minutes at the moon that gazes back at me from outer space, touches the outer limits of my face, light touch. I'm lost, just like the fat raccoon descending frontwards down the dying oak in afternoon, the bandit full of rats that race lakeside at night like diplomats of war. I could remember how she spoke, how many minutes in the years I've lost, how tall the spangly trees below the sky, but it would only make my moon face cry. How little does it boot, how hard I'm tossed by my full moon and moon of my quagmire, that rises like those horses fleeing fire. 2. I watch those helpless horses fleeing fire in a video of California burning. A group of 6 or so are trotting, turning from tree to burning tree, as if the dire inferno is a muddled game of chance. They acted calm, but weren't they terrified? There was no place to flee the underside. Going as one to death, they trot, they dance. Fairies can't breathe the dirty smoke, my dear. What will we do without a breath of air? I try to find a fairy here and there, someone to last a life with no one near. Impossibly, I spot how you inspire, ponder the deepening blue of my desire. 3. I ponder blue, the depth of my desire, my blue of tears, my blue of sighs, my blue that sees you smiling at a distance, you, my work of art, my soothing, shocking choir. You hold the note so long I lose my grip. So let me bring you here this time in verse. Couldn't the circumstances be much worse? Here sits a body, reined and sturdy, whip discarded for a stricter inner boss, sits by the old and ugly oak the owl once slept in. In my mind, coyote howl, and now the day begins to end. Across the lake 3 geese fly low. I hear their tune, wonder if birds still call this late, this soon. 4. If any bird still calls this late, this soon, I answer, calling two, 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 for this remembrance of the air and bird-call bliss. I'm tangled up in time just like the loon that makes a V-mark in the mirror lake, moving the waves and clouds to suit its trail. I failed to save my sister. I still fail. This day, this night, this life, this endless ache. I saved myself, and that was hard enough. Dear sister, may I speak to you this way and tell you all the things I need to say? I see the beast that ravaged you, how tough its hide, how hot its fangs, how slick its slime, and then I take a trip through icy time. 5. And then I take a trip through icy time, but I see why. No sisters on the quest to answer. Once again, I fail the test to be in sync with history's sublime. You know, those moments of coincidence when who you are is like a raucous crow, slicing the air in sections, each a foe felled, and your eye goes free, flies the fence. You bring a bag of roasted nuts and seeds, some ripening bananas and some water, wearily plod the earth, a raging daughter, die and return to gardens full of weeds that need hot touches of the marigold. Circle the planet's nipples, statue cold. 6. Circle the planet's nipples, statue cold, not knowing where to land your little ship, on rocky cliffs or islands, or the tip of continents, or in the ocean's old and endless rocking cradle. You must go, carry your cases loaded up with weight, and shed as best you can the armor plate, trying to crush your tendrils so, and so, and so I trek from hell to tell my story. A girl Odysseus inside, a sir to strangers in my hat of phony fur, defying every polar category. Then, like Penelope, I dart and fold, chant the enchantment I was never told. 7. Chant the enchantment I was never told on school and sick days, weekends, holidays, Enchantment fled like minutes in a haze of dips and hills of fog that rolls and rose. Of dips and hills of fog that rose and rolled. Impossible to go too far, you cry. But you learned early how to laugh. You laugh and throw your mittens in the air, a gaffe you're sorry for. And yet you don't know why. Why mittens? Why not gloves? Why winter bells, not summer songs? Why river, not the ocean? Why does his singing spark this strong emotion when clearly you are subject to her spells? You check your clock in Central Standard Time, count the believers lost with every chime. 8. Count the believers lost with every chime, and if the sky is gray and overcast, count the unraked and withered leaves that last all winter, building fertile beds of grime. I give you these instructions hopefully, and couched in prayer, my hands held still and strong with palm, to cleanse the world of wrong, of mockery and harm of life, so lowly. Then the horizon glows in pastel pinks, the wind acknowledges my thoughts, and skims like icicles through darkened twigs and limbs. The forest skirt grows deeper red, ice rinks of clouds begin to turn a dusky blue. Now they are stars in orbit burning through. 9. Now they are stars in orbit burning through a sky full of believers, holes of hope and wishful dreaming. I'm the kind of dope whose blood gets squeezed by things I cannot do. You sit imagining, you run to help. Your running shoes are broken down and shot, but you don't notice. You are simply not secure or calm enough to save yourself. You sit and make pathetic Xmas cards and send them out to strangers who don't care. A prisoner without a breath of air, whose food is stolen by the prison guards. I call myself on memory's telephone, my flesh, my eyes. My breath creates its own. 10. My flesh, my eyes, my breath creates its own body of flash, lies, death, a mallard duck of luck, of love who hasn't found a lake of luck. The duck is young perhaps, but seems alone, flapping its wings too hard to reach the tree. Then little peep, 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 peeps, and I can only listen since I mustn't fly. You didn't understand your starving sea. Forgive yourself for that and try again. Crow on the sidewalk. Chase the girl to bed. Take these directions with you in your head. You call the number not in service then, but now it rings in heaven, freshly blown rhythms, composes its discordant tone. 11. Rhythm composes the discordant tone of heartbeats beaten down. -1. Will bitchy talk to me? Estrangement won for salty years the mother's mucky throne. The sun illuminates an eagle in the window and a ring of mooching crows. A show of ruling power ratios, bird balancing on branches, one king pin. Look how its yellow beak stabs at the fish it caught. Its giant claws afflict the flesh, its golden wings a net of fishing mesh. Perhaps the eagle had a latent wish, only a moment's peace before it flew, willing the cause to stop for just a few. 12. Willing the cause to stop for just a few flutters of peace, but nothing liberates. The pack of dogs surrounds you like the fates you fled, and there is nothing you can do except survive and try again and hold my hand. I'm reaching now for every sister hurt, flung and discarded, scrounging in the dirt, who needs the solace of her story told. Their spirits speak to me in rustling trees, the soft and changing clouds, the stars at night, the 7 sisters multiplied, that call the light earthward to open doors with magic keys. Repeat my humble prayer in beating heart seconds to let the clocks of quiet start. 13. Seconds before the clocks of quiet start, bodies of water still. Your body craves the sleep and fall and dream of subtle waves, the nighttime's sweet, unfathomable part. The lonely patterns of the lake, the lost forever from this world, the panther found still living in the wilderness, the sound that wakes you wide-eyed. How this losing cost much more than you could ever hope to make. You may not ever fall asleep again. You mark your bearings with a fountain pen. The fountain overflows, becomes the lake. You dedicate yourself to making art. Why does time keep tearing us apart? 14. Why does time keep tearing us apart? You ask as if the ending isn't sad, as if time's charity was what you had, and afterwards time's tatters will depart. But you're invisible, time won't reply. Listen to how the rain begins to stop, then beats your roof again. Each water drop, another tear that trembles in your eye. You search the cloudy sky for answers to questions of time. The rain resolves to fall again on nights that knock against your wall like ghosts without a home, without a boo. When bright winds blow the midnight past the noon, I stop to gaze for minutes at the moon. 15. I stop to gaze for minutes at the moon that rises like those horses fleeing fire, ponder the deepening blue of my desire, wonder if birds still call this late, this soon. And then I take a trip through icy time, circle the planet's nipples, statue cold, chant the enchantment I was never told, count the believers lost with every chime. Now they are stars in orbit, burning through my flesh, my eyes. My breath creates its own rhythm, composes its discordant tone, willing the cause to stop for just a few seconds, to let the clocks of quiet start. Why does time keep tearing us apart?